Hey, hi everyone. So Neeto is basically a collection of or a suite of products like Neeto Cal, Neeto Form, Neeto Record, Neeto Desk, Neeto Chat, Neeto KB, Quiz, Playdash, Invoice, and so many more. So to make all this work under one single umbrella, we basically group them uh, at the organization or the workspace level. So each of these products can be used by different organization or the workspaces that the user is creating. So basically, you just need to log in over here. So which will take you to app.neetoauth.com, which is where the authentication is happening. So over here, we can basically log in with Google or log in with Apple or basically use the email to log in. So for now, I'll just basically use my email login. So once you enter the email, OTP is being sent to your email. Yeah. So once you add your OTP, it shows all the workspace that you are basically part of. So this specific user, this specific email user who is part of all these workspaces. So the list of the workspaces that is part of is being shown, or I can basically add a new workspace from here. So now I'll just create a new workspace. So let's say I'm running a company called Design Studio something. So I can basically name that specific name. Um, yeah, so you can see this is the subdomain. So based on the subdomain, each product that I'm accessing will have, let's say I'm going to use NeetoCal. So Design Studio 02 at .neetocal.com would be the URL. Um, or if I'm going to use Neeto Planner, then Design Studio 02.neetoplanner.com would be the admin URL, which can be changed later from the settings of the application or the workspace level. So I'll click next. Here I just need to add my first name, my last name, country, time zone, and just need to click accept the terms and condition and the privacy policy that's up there. So once all these things have been filled, you can just click done, which will take you to the Neeto Auth dashboard. So here you can see Design Studio 02 is the new URL. Instead of app.neetoauth.com, it is Design Studio 02.neetoauth.com/admin/dashboard. So this is basically dashboard where you can see all the Neeto products that are there. So where we have Neeto Cal, Form, Record, KB, Chat, Engage, all these products that are there was being listed over here. So I can just click on this to basically navigate to that specific product, or from at the authentication or the auth level, basically I can update my profile. So I can update my basic information. So this is my basic information. I can edit my basic information from here, where I can add or update my first name, last name, phone number, country, my preferred time zone. All those things can be updated at the basic info. If I want to change my email to something else, then I can change it from here, or I can look into the billing information from there as well. Uh, at the organization level, you can invite multiple peoples, your team members, all those people can be invited over here. So right now I'm just the only person who is there, and my role is honor. And I can just click on add new team member, where I can add team member for now, this, and I can assign the roles that are. So owner is basically the person who has access to change and manage everything. Non-owner is basically the person who has limited access. So all these permissions can be changed and managed at the roles level. So basically I can just click on roles, which will take me to the roles page, where you can see right now we have two roles, which is non-owner and owner. And honor is able to basically update or like manage all these things like subscriptions, API keys, workspace settings. We can view the team member, manage the team member, and non-owner is basically someone who's not able to perform any of these actions, who is basically able to perform the basic actions that are there. At any point, I can change the settings. Let's say I want the non-owner uh, team member to view other team members. I can just click on this and it will take me to the side pane, where I can basically select the actions or the permissions that I need to enable for that specific role. And I can just hit save, which will basically enable that specific. Or I can add a new role or create a new role, something like HR. You can add a description, and HR is also able to view, able to manage. They can manage the workspace settings, where they can manage the roles. That's it. These two things are not supposed to be managed by the HR, so I'm just leaving it as it is. And I can just save change, and a new role is being created at the organization level. Uh, And then yeah, we have billing and subscription. So all the billing and subscription related to the products are listed over here. And see your payment methods, invoices, all those things. Right now, I don't have any invoices or payment methods, so that's why there are no invoices being generated or payment methods being shown. But from here, you can manage your billing and subscription for the different products that you have. A point to note over here is almost all our products are free to use, so you don't have to technically uh, buy the subscription unless and until it is a need uh, uh, where you can basically go to the billing page. For example, you can just go to neeto.com and show you sample of NeetoCal. So NeetoCal pricing. So basically you can see all the products. So everything is basically included in the free plan. The only thing and only scenario when you need to buy a pro plan is basically if you need to remove the branding, you just need to go with the subscription. Otherwise, everything is included in the free plan. Yeah. So coming back to the dashboard. So and go to my workspace. So here you can update the workspace level things. So for example, the basic workspace settings. So right now I gave it a name as Design Studio, this thing, and I have uploaded this logo. At any point, if I want to change, I can change the workspace name to something else. I can enable and disable the products that one needs to access from here. So if I don't want to access Neeto CI, I can basically disable, or if I don't want to access Neeto Deploy, Neeto CRM, all these products can be disabled, and basically I can save the changes, and those products will no longer be visible to any of the other users. And from the authentication page or the tab, I can basically see all the authentications that needs to be enabled. So let's say I don't want Apple login uh, for my team members or in my organization, I can basically disable it and we can save these changes. And sessions related things can also be updated, like the duration of sessions that needs to be stored. All these things can be handled at the authentication level. Subdomain is also something which you can change once. Basically, you can see right now I gave it Design Studio 01. If I want to edit into a new name, that is also possible uh, over here. But a thing to note over here is once the subdomain is changed, it is irreversible. So new URL would become, let's say I'm changing it to Design Studio 02 to just Design Studio, then all the URLs would be basically designstudio.neetoauth.com or designstudio.neetocal.com. You can delete your workspace from here. You can manage your roles, which I've already mentioned from here. And yeah, so that's about the auth things that you can do over here. Now I can click on NeetoCal over here, and from here you can see these are the members that are part of NeetoCal. I can just click on Open NeetoCal, which will take me to the NeetoCal product. So you can see here the URL now changed to designstudio.neetocal.com. Let me just complete the onboarding. Yeah. So yeah. So this is basically the Neeto Cal page. You can see, go to the admin panel. These are the admin level settings that you can do at the Cal level. And you can see initially I had created few roles for my team members in the auth level. Now, if I go to team members, I'm adding a new team member, still admin and standard is the two because these roles are over here. The other role which I had created was at the auth level. Now I can, I'm inviting someone, example.com, can again manage the roles by going over here. So you can see we have two roles in the NeetoCal, which is admin and standard, and admin can perform all these actions which they can do under this specific organization in this specific product. So if I change my product from NeetoCal to Neeto Record, then it will have a different set of roles, different set of actions, and that the user can perform. And there we will have different set of roles. So whatever role I'm creating, let's say I'm creating a new role called viewer, and the viewer is basically able to view the team members, nothing else. So this specific role is only applicable to NeetoCal and to Design Studio 02. So let's say I have multiple organizations called Design Studio 02 and Big Binary.Neeto. neetocal.com is another venture which I'm running. So then Big Binary won't be having this specific role. That organization would just be having the default role, which are standard and admin. So again, I need to create a new role over there in that specific organization. And this is only applicable to this specific workspace and this specific product. Um, yeah, so once I have created a new role, let's go back to team members. Now you can see admin, standard, and viewer are the three roles that are visible over here. So just write this and assign this role to viewer, click continue. And from here, I can also invite that specific user to all the following products. And these are the roles that are specific to that specific product. So for NeetoCal, I've already assigned him a viewer role. I can invite the same person to Neeto invoice, Neeto runner, Neeto bug watch, Neeto pay, record, all these things. And if I don't want to invite to any of these products, I can basically disable it in one click. Or let's say I want to invite him into Neeto invoice and few other products, I can basically disable the rest of the products to which I don't want that person to be part of. So I can basically do this by like this. And let's say I want him to be an admin user in Neeto invoice. I can manage the role from here, or I can basically head towards Neeto invoice, and then from there I can basically update the role of that person. So for now, I just need to invite Oliver to these specific set of products, not into Neeto codes, Neeto code, or Neeto runner. So I can basically click continue, and I can just preview and just verify if whatever permissions, roles, and the products that I have selected is correct. And once done, I can basically hit save, and the user is being invited to all these following products. And I can see that is also added to NeetoCal as viewer, which is the role which I've added. Now, let's say I want to change the role. So I can basically go and click on edit, and I can basically change the role to something else as standard. And I can basically hit save, which will update the role to standard. I can also, so all these things which I'm doing over here is at the product level, at the workspace level. Now, let's say if I go to the product switcher and head to Neeto record, which will open designstudio02.neetorecord.com. So that would be the URL of that specific product. Just need to complete the onboarding, continue with the recorder, continue, start recording. Yeah. So if I go over here, if I go to team members, since I've already invited Oliver, you can see Sudesh and Oliver are both basically part of Neeto record as well. And if I can change, if I go to edit, I can change the roles from admin standard to admin from here as well. Yeah. So yeah, so basically this is how the entire Neeto ecosystem works. So basically you have multiple organizations. You can create multiple organizations or multiple workspaces in Neeto, and each workspace can have basically each workspace can use NeetoCAD. So let's say I have two workspaces or two organizations. One is called Design Studio 02, and let's say other one is called ABC Studios. Then Design Studio can have its own NeetoCAD, and then ABC Studios can have its own NeetoCAD. And you can basically use them like that. And if I head to, let's say, app.neetoorg.com again, and you can see again, these are the workspaces that I'm part of. I can create a new workspace, ABC Studio. Yeah. And I can see that and just open. So Sudesh Nair is the only person who is part of this because I haven't invited any of these users. If I click on Open NeetoCAD, then it basically takes me to abcstudio01.neetocal.com. So if I'm running two companies or I have two organizations which I'm part of, I can basically open and use them simultaneously like this. So right now you can see this is abcstudio.neetocal.com. Just this. So this is basically designstudio.neetocal.com. So in both these platforms, I am kind of logged in. So since we are grouping them at the organization level, so it's easier to switch and basically use them side by side like this. Yeah, so this is basically how the Neeto organization or Neeto ecosystem works. Uh, Thanks.